Wrigley Field, it's Major League Baseball as the San Francisco Giants meet our Chicago Cubs. Participating advertisers in today's game are Lowenbrow. When you want the taste of a truly great beer, there's really only one. Tonight, let it be Lowenbrow. Your local Toyota dealers, where now's the time to cook up a deal. True Value hardware stores. True Value, more than just a name, it's their way of doing business. Zenith and your Zenith dealers featuring System 3 color TV. Canon, so advanced, Canon is the world's leader in 35mm photography. Union 76 and your neighborhood dealers who invite you to go with the spirit of 76. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago National League Ball Club, which has the right of approval of the announcers and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Chicago National League Ball Club is prohibited.
David Carradine stars as a man who confronts violence with reason.
Master, how do I not contend with the man that would contend with me?
There is always violence. Be, therefore, like the prow of a boat. It cleaves the water, yet it leaves in its wake water unbroken.
But some people just won't listen to reason.
Peace who fights like 10 tigers.
David Carradine is master of martial arts in Kung Fu. Sunday nights at 10 on Channel 9.
Daddy, it's broke.
Oh, here, let me see. Hey, thanks.
Can I help you?
Oh, do you do tune-ups?
Sure, my mechanics are certified in tune-ups.
Certified?
Union 76 sends them to school, then certifies their ability with these stripes.
Oh, sounds professional. When can someone tune my car?
My best mechanics available now. Vic, top-notch professional. Vic, Yemmer.
He fixed my car.
Road test.
Go with the spirit.
Make sure your mechanic is certified.
The spirit of 76.
Now, there's a brand new charcoal you just pour and light. You don't need lighter fluid, ever. Match Light. Look again. Match Light lights fast and easy. You don't add a single drop of lighter fluid. New Match Light from Kingsford. It's the pour and light charcoal because you don't need lighter fluid, ever.
Well, hi, everybody. Once again, welcome to baseball. Beautiful Wrigley Field, the home of the Chicago Cubs. A little bit on the overcast side, but the weatherman says, don't worry about it, folks. It's going to be a beautiful day, and it certainly is, up till now, a beautiful day for a ball game. Cubs against the Giants as the Cubs try to retrieve a little self-respect from the last 2 days that the Giants have kind of beat them out here in heartbreaking fashion. 2-1 and 4-3. A couple of ball games, of course, that are the kinds that give a manager sleepless nights. If you get your brains knocked out, you just write it off and forget it and say tomorrow's another day. But those one-run jobs are the ones where you lie there and figure out if you'd have done this here, or this here, or this here, or this here, it would have turned the game around. Well, so much for that history. Now, today's another day. Cubs-Giants, always a tremendous rivalry. I'm Jack Brickhouse, along with Milo Hamilton, who will be upstairs here in a moment. Lou Boudreau will be along a little bit later on. Jack Rosenberg, our WGN sports editor, with us. Arnie Harris directing this great crew of ours, capturing these baseball headlines as they're being made. Pretty good crowd out here today. Expect a little noise because the Cubs and their fans have quite an interesting relationship, and I don't know, they could be 10 runs behind in a ball game and somebody gets 2 base hits, and the next thing you know, a couple of them are on their feet around here because they just can smell a big rally, and that's the way Cub fans are. They never really give up. Batting order now for the San Francisco Giants. We're going to send Ed Whitson against the Cubs. Ed's 3-1 this year and won 4 of his last 5 decisions, and he's doing very, very well against the Cubs, too. He'll be facing Randy March, who's 1-0 against the Giants this year. San Francisco, Joe Morgan at second leading off. Enos Cabell at first. Jack Clark is in right field. Darrell Evans at third. Larry Herndon in left field. Jeff Leonard center field. Milt May is catching the ball game. Billy Smith at shortstop. And the pitchers, we said Ed Whitson has won 4, lost 5 so far this year, but he's won 3 straight now and 4 of his last 5 decisions. For the Chicago Cubs, Steve Henderson is in left. Pat Tabler at second. Bill Buckner at first. Bobby Bonds in center, batting cleanup against his old teammates. Leon Durham in right. Jody Davis catching. Ken Reitz at third. Ivan DeJesus at shortstop. And the pitcher, Randy Martz, who, like Whitson, has won 4 and lost 5. Randy, as we said, 1-0 against San Francisco this year, which also happens to be his lifetime against them as well. The plate umpire today is going to be the biggest umpire we have in baseball, Lee Wire. Umpiring at first is Harry Wendelstedt. Dutch Reynolds out there at second, and Ed Montague will be the umpire at third. The temperature, 78 degrees. That's baseball weather, folks. And the wind is out of the southwest at about 7 miles an hour, which means that the wind is not going to be much of a factor in this ball game. As a matter of fact, I noticed the center field scoreboard flags are flapping a little, but the one down the right field line is almost limp. Anyway, get set for a big afternoon wherever you are in this great land of ours. We welcome you to our efforts here at Wrigley Field to take your mind off your worries for a little while, get you a little relaxation, a little escape from the cares and the anxieties of this world of ours. And all you shut-ins, we hope that we'll get your mind off your problems for a little while and get you back at this ballpark as soon as we possibly can. Down there at the plate, as you can see, Jimmy Davenport, number 12 for the Giants, is turning in the batting order for Frank Robinson. Cookie Rojas, number 1, is the fellow doing the same thing for Joey Amalfitano and the Cubs. In a moment now, of course, the umpires will take their stations. The Cubs will take their positions on the field. We're going to have a very lovely young lady and a very beautiful young lady sing our national anthem for us today. There she is. That's 25-year-old Sandra Truitt, who was Miss Illinois of 1981. So again, it's welcome from Wrigley Field on the near north side of Chicago, nestled in the heart of a residential area, the home of the Chicago Cubs, a place which has been quite a landmark in the sports world now for a long, long time. And out there in the center field bleachers, you'll see people, as we said before, worshiping the sun today as their mothers and fathers and grandmothers and grandfathers did before them. They're third generation out there, maybe fourth for all I know, Milo. There they are. And as I said, Sandra Truitt, Miss Illinois of 1981, is going to sing our national anthem. She's toured in New York with the Chicago Symphony Chorus. She's a second-year doctoral student at Northwestern University, and obviously a very beautiful young lady. Cotton Bogren has this place in beautiful shape. No complaints about the length of the infield grass lately, Milo, so the boys must be happy with Cotton and his crew. That's Frank Robinson. Fact is, that was Rennie Stennett, who started at second base in game 1. But Joe Morgan took over yesterday and also is starting today. There's Buck Peden, who gets all those difficult assignments. He gets to accompany this beauty out to the plate. Well, thank you very much. Thank you. There they go out on the field. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and join in singing our national anthem, being sung today by Miss Illinois 1981, Sandra Truitt.
Oh, say, can you see by the God's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars
with Miss Illinois in our national anthem. So the Cubs are on the field. Out and left, there's Steve Henderson. Center fielder Bobby Bonds. Right fielder Leon Durham. Kenny Reitz at third. Shortstop Ivan De Jesus. Pat Tabler at second. And over to first is Bill Buckner. Pitcher Randy Martz. And the catcher Jody Davis. Don Buford coaching at first. Over to third, Jimmy Davenport. Harry Wendelstedt umpiring at first. Dutch Rennert at second. At third, Ed Montague. And behind the plate, Lee Wire. It's great to see that Wire back in action, Milo, because a year ago we despaired of his ever being able to return to umpiring again.
Got to be a miracle. Those first reports, and now to see him back there, it's really gratifying.
Yes, the ailment was a strange one. It was some kind of a blood ailment, wasn't it?
It affected his eyes. Well, I tell you, when that's what you're dependent upon for your profession, that's really got to be scary.
You know, Big Lee, sometimes big fellas like that may look like they're clumsy or cumbersome. The fact is he is anything else but a bowling instructor and one of the greatest guys at manipulating a deck of cards you ever saw in your life. He and Ed Montague have that in common. They are both magicians, and I mean pro. So Morgan stepping in. Milo, let's get out. Let's get out in front early today, huh?
Let's get some runs.
Let's get a lapper.
All right, Randy Martz looking at Morgan, who's 0 for 4 in this series. And the first pitch is a ball, and we are underway. Randy Martz 1-0 this year and lifetime with the Giants. 4-5 on the year, and a strike to make it 1-1. Morgan batting .241, 6 homers, 25 runs batted in. Cabell will be next, then Clark. Palm ball. Boy, oh boy, that's a beauty. 1-2. Hope you were in early to hear Les Moss talk about Randy Martz. Morgan waiting on a 1-2 delivery. And he's gone. Boy, he pitched to a couple of spots to that opening hitter, Jack, and got it right on the nose.
Morgan knew it, too. He knew he'd been fooled.
Look at that curveball come in over that outside corner.
Sox got 3 in the second. They lead 3-0. Toronto at bat in the third now.
Trout against Leal, but Leal is gone and McLaughlin is in there.
Detroit 2, Texas nothing, and then the Detroit third. Detroit's going for their 9th straight today.
Matlack against Wilcox in that game. A strike and 1-1 to Cabell. Cabell 1 for 9 in this series. Against the league, he's hitting .245 with 2 homers and 26 runs batted in. As the Yankees host Kansas City, Gale for the Royals, Guidry for the Yankees. Fouled off, out of play, 1-2. Arroyo goes for Minnesota up in Milwaukee against Haas. Montreal got a run in Atlanta off Mailer. And there is Frank Robinson. Don McMahon is pitching coach on his right. That fellow with the cap over his eyes is Jim Lefevre. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nepper will go for Houston at Philadelphia against Carlton. Joey, and there they are, the twosome, always looking at that pitcher, Joey and Les. 3 3-2. Wells for San Diego against Scurry at Pittsburgh, and so far no score after 2.5.
Did you notice Valenzuela got his 10th win last night? Finally got it. Beat the Dodgers 3-2. Rather beats the St. Louis Cardinals 3-2 for the Dodgers.
He waited a while to get that one, didn't he?
Yeah, 4 starts.
Bouncer, shortstop over, picks it clean and throws him out. That came up just right for DeJesus. He knew that there wasn't any chance to get over in front of it, not with Cabell running. And watch how the ball comes up just where he wants it, so he can scoop it and fire. He's got to make a move. Look at this, right in there.
Don't underrate this throw either, because he didn't have the luxury of being able to measure this one for very long.
Nope, Cabell runs well. Look at him look into that glove and say, I've got it, and let her fly. Nice going, Ivan. Now here's Clark. This is a guy we got to keep off the base paths. Of course, a couple of times he hasn't been on him very long. You just trotted around him. 4 for 7 in this series, 2 homers and 3 runs batted in. Clark hitting .246, but he has 10 homers and 33 ribbies. And since the break, he's something like 15 for 45. $15 for 43, in fact. (2-0), 3-0.
Dodgers got a run in the first. The Cardinals are now at bat. Hernandez has just tied that one. Matter of fact, he's put the Cardinals out in front. He got a 2-run homer, his 7th of the year, and the Cardinals are still at bat. Pittsburgh 2, San Diego nothing. They're in the Pirates' 3rd.
That's in there.
San Diego finally broke that losing streak last night, and Toronto failed in the 3rd. White Sox leading 3-0 at the end of 3 at Toronto.
3-1 to Clark, and he ends up walking him. Never gave him a pitch to hit. So Clark's at first, where he's met by Billy Buckner, and here is Darrell Evans, their cleanup hitter and 3rd baseman. He's 1 for 8 in this series, has hit Saple in 11 of his last 13 games. Evans for the year, .246, 10 homers, 37 RBIs. He and Clark are tied for the home run lead on the Giants, 10 apiece. Larry Herndon would be next. The first 2 batters were up and down quickly, Morgan and Cabell. Morgan called out on strikes. Cabell thrown out on a great play by DeJesus. Now Clark has walked, and a pitch outside to Darrell Evans. Padres come in tomorrow for 3. Not a big lead for Clark. A ball, 2-0. It'll be Mike Krukow Monday, Ken Kravick on Tuesday, and Doug Bird will come back on Wednesday. So right now that rotation's pretty well set when you've got Martz ready. 2 balls, no strikes. Now he's 3-0, and all of a sudden he's having trouble. Juan Eichelberger will pitch the opener for the Padres tomorrow. You believe that we're getting ready to go to the West Coast again, and we'll look at the Padres for the very first time all year tomorrow? That's the team that would have been in here the day the strike started.
Yes, and of course we would have been out there once had it not been for the strike.
3-0. Walked him, 2 straight walks. Now you're bringing up a fellow who's been swinging a good bat, and especially with men on, Larry Herndon. He's 4 for 9 in this series with 1 RBI. He has a 4-game hitting streak. He's hit safely in 8 of his last 10. So right now he is a tough out. Against the league, .305, 3 homers, 27 runs batted in. Now is where Randy's got to bear down and get this fellow. Don't let those walks come back to haunt you. 2 quick outs, then just as quickly 2 walks. One ball and no strikes. He's been behind the last 3 hitters. In fact, the last 4, because he got behind Cabell. before he eventually got him. And Les Moss wants to have a little talk with one of his prize pupils, Randy Martz. They have spotted something here that he's doing. I asked Les about it on the leadoff. I said, what about Martz now? Because coming in relief the last few times, he's known that he was maybe going to be out there for an inning or two or three at the most. It looked like he was more aggressive. Will he have a tendency maybe to try to pace himself here today since he's starting? Plus the humidity on the field feels like it's 99. He said, well, I hope not, because I talked to him about it all morning. But it looks like maybe he's fallen into a little pacing rut here because he's not the aggressive pitcher that we saw in relief the last few times.
Well, today, too, Marlo, with the emphasis we now have on the bullpen more than ever before in baseball, the tendency is for the pitcher just to go out and fire as hard as he can, and if they can get 5 or 6 innings out of him, fine.
Gets the breaking ball in for a strike. New York got a run off Seaver. Lynch is pitching for the Mets. 2-1.
At the half, Philadelphia Eagles 12, New Orleans Saints 7 in preseason football. Congratulations to the Bears on that win last night. Maybe they'll start to put it together now.
And they got a scare at the end at that after a big lead. 2-1 in there, and it's 2-2. And in about an hour, the Sting will start their trek, hopefully toward bigger days. And tonight at 6, the Chicago Fire plays the Jacksonville Firebirds in their first playoff game. Fouled off, holding 2-2 on Herndon.
Kansas City failed in the first, and the Yankees are now at bat. You notice where Mr. Russell shut him out last night?
He didn't really pitch that badly the other times he was out.
Well, he explained that he's been having a tendency toward blisters, and plus the fact that he wasn't quite in shape because of the strike.
Home ball missing. He's 3-2. The merry-go-round will be on here. The runners will be set. Clark at second. Evans at first. A walk to each of them after 2 away, and now we're down to cases on Herndon. 3-2. Runners are going. He walked him, and he's walked. The bases loaded. That will bring up the center fielder, Jeff Leonard, who hasn't hurt us with his bat, but he killed us with his glove and his legs in the opening game. And Willie Hernandez is going to the bullpen. Joey and Les not happy with what they're looking at now. I'm sure they kept hoping after the first couple of walks that he could come back and get him, but instead he's walked the bases full. Now Jeff Leonard is the batter. Ball 1. Leonard's totals for the year, including Houston and the Giants, 250, 1 homer, and 9 RBIs. 5th hitter in a row that he started off behind. You cannot hit from behind forever. That's a strike, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Jeff Leonard, the batter. And a left-hand batting catcher, Milt May, would be next. The 1-1 from Randy Martz. A high bounce. Shortstop to Jesus. Go the short way. Side retired. 6-4 to Jesus to Tabler. And so Randy Martz just dodged a bullet.
Everybody exhale.
We played a half an inning. There were 3 walks. The Giants are scoreless with no hits. There weren't any Cub errors. 3 Giants were left, and our Cubs are just now coming into bat.
Hi, Pat Summerall. Get book 2 of my 64-page full-color Sports Stars collection free with any $10 purchase at participating True Value hardware stores.
And right now, you could celebrate end-of-summer savings with their pre-Labor Day Carnival of Value circular, where you'll find Duro Super Glue 3 for just 88 cents a tube, and this True Test Latex Caulk for just $1.18. This long-wearing Orel paintbrush is just $3.99. And get 4 Value Bright light bulbs for just $1.19 at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
Here's two good friends. Tonight is time.
Earthlings! One solo and he's ready for the space program.
I'm gonna set this thing down in about 10 minutes, and I expect a terrific reception.
How about us and a case of Lowenbrow?
Perfect.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Must have been great up there.
Oh, I don't know. It's pretty great down here.
Well, Lazinski is homered in the fourth with 2 on. That's his 13th. So now the White Sox lead Toronto 6-0. Toronto at bat in the fourth, and it's Pittsburgh 4, San Diego 0 at the end of 3.
Let's put the Giants on the field. Left field, you start with Larry Herndon, number 31. Move over to center for Jeff Leonard, number 26. In right field, Jack Clark wears 22. At third base, Darrell Evans, 41. Billy Ed Smith, 21, playing shortstop for the second straight day. Joe Morgan, the old veteran, number 8 at second. Enos Cavell, 23 at first. On the mound, Eddie Whitson, number 32. And his battery mate is Milt May, number 7. Whitson comes in with a record of 4-5, 3.67 ERA, 14th outing, all as a starter. Comes over the top of the breaking ball, gets a strike called.
Inside the park home run, Marlowe, for Milburn for the Yankees in the first. That's his first home run.
Whitson has worked 76 innings, thrown 6 home run balls, which is a high ratio for him. 1 ball, 1 strike. Walked 29, struck out 41, and when I talked about him on the leadoff with Les, how tough he was on us last year, our coaches, Cookie Rojas at third, Gene Kleins at first. 2-1 to Henderson. Listen to this figure. Whitson against the Cubs' lifetime is 3-1 with an ERA of 1.42.
That's pretty stingy. Whew.
He shut us out once last year for his first win, and to prove it was no fluke, a week later did it again. 2-2 to Henderson. Henderson struggling in this series. He's 0 for 8. Batting .270 against the league with 4 homers and 21 runs batted in. Missed with a breaking ball.
Nettles just got a homer for the Yankees in the first with 2 on. That's his 10th of the year. So the Yankees are having a big first inning against Kansas City.
Well, they've got gotten those runs for Guidry, Jack. You don't want to let him get too big a lead. He's tough when it's tight. Fouled off as he jammed him on the fist.
Dodgers with 2 in the second. Cardinals now at bat. Los Angeles 3, St. Louis 2.
Henderson will be followed by Pat Tabler and then Bill Buckner. This is our 6th game of the year with the Giants. Cubs swept them the first time in. Giants are trying to return the favor. Strike 3. Right across the kneecap.
Henderson. 9 series for Henderson at this point.
Yep. And he's been taking a lot of good pitches, Jack. Yeah. Here's Pat Tabler, 2 for 7 in the series. Just joined us on Friday. Got right into the starting lineup. And his folks are watching us down in Sarasota, Florida on the cable, Jack. Another one of our players where the family gets a chance to watch. Strike 1 to Pat Tabler. Bill Buckner has moved on deck. In the top of the first, March got into a full-blown jam when he walked the bases loaded after 2 out, but got Leonard to hit into a force play. 0-1 to Tabler. Bullseye. Strike 2. Boy, Whitson's just got a good live arm. From Johnson City, Tennessee. And 2. Wasted a high, tight one. 1-2. LA 3, St. Louis 2 after an inning and a half. Fouled it off just enough to keep him up there, and it remains 1-2. Montreal and Atlanta split last night, and Montreal's leading 1-0 today after an inning and a half. High fly ball, shallow right, Clark in, his play to make, and he does. Fly ball to shallow right off Pat Tabler's bat, and Clark makes the catch, 2 down. That'll bring up Bill Buckner. Buckner with another streak going. He's hit in 8 straight games. 2 for 8 in this series with 1 run batted in. And against the league, he's up over 290 again. 293, 6 homers, 42 runs batted in. But he has lost 20 points to his league average since the reopening of the season. When we came back, he was sitting on 313. Today he's at 293.
The big mystery is striking out in 4 of the last 5 games. This is something he just doesn't do.
That's right. Now, yesterday when he struck out swinging, Minton just threw him a ball that I don't know what it was or what it did, but when it got in the strike zone, it really did a dipsy doodle. A 1-hopper to Morgan. That'll be easy. A 3-up, 3-down inning for Eddie Whitson. So we have played through 1 at Wrigley Field on a beautiful Sunday for baseball. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you are. We'll go to the second with no score.
America, here's the diesel you've been waiting for, and it's at your Toyota dealer. The 18th Toyota truck model, the Toyota long bed diesel. Better mileage than any gasoline-powered truck. 7-foot cargo bed, separate rugged frames, 1,000-pound payload. Best of all, it's built with Toyota quality. Quality that makes Toyota the #1 import truck in America. Come in and compare. That's your Toyota dealer's quality challenge. Compare our deals and compare our quality. We wrote the book on quality.
Nobody rises up in the city quite the way we do. With our eggs and nothing we do it. Nobody can do it like only McDonald's can.
Is the Energizer just another battery? Is a picture from outer space just another snapshot? The Energizer from Ever-Ready Technology. Of all leading brands, nothing outlasts, nothing outperforms the Energizer. Ever-Ready scientists made sure. Your photo flash, calculator, toy, they'll tell you, energize me. The Energizer, energize.
Long life.
Bottom third of the order for Randy March as we go to the second. Milt May looks at a ball. May is hit safely in 6 out of 8. Didn't like strike 3 called yesterday his last time up, so got to the shower an inning early. High pop foul over here to the left. Jody Davis and Reitz both moving, and it dropped behind him. Ooh, is that embarrassing. That wind just blew it behind him, Jack. I'm sure when it went up, they thought it was going to be close even if they had a chance, and both of them ended up on the railing. It'll be no play. One ball and 1 strike to May. Smith, the shortstop, on deck. Against the league, May is hitting .306, 2 homers, 24 runs batted in. Palm ball missing, and it is 2-1. Now here's another look. See where it bounces? And when it hit the ground and made that thud, Jody Davis reacted. Oh. Out behind second. With a slow man running, DeJesus knew he could let the ball play him and get away with it, and it's 1 away.
Yeah, Milt was out of the ball game in a hurry last night, too. He must have said the magic words to Montague.
And in Montague's case, magic would be the right word.
You know something? He's an interesting fella.
Here's Smith, the shortstop. 1 for 4 in the series with a run batted in. In limited play, he's batting .138. 1 homer, 4 runs batted in. He's a switch hitter. That's a strike, says Lee Wire, and it is 0-1.
Turned out to be a 4-run inning for the Yankees. They lead Kansas City 4-0. The Yankees at bat now in the 2nd inning.
Almost reached across for that off-speed pitch, but laid off in time, and it's 1-1. A ball and a strike to Smith. Whitson due up next. 2nd inning, no score. Bouncer, the Tabler's going to have to charge, and the pitcher's going to have to cover. And Randy did his job. That's the way to get off that hill. You can't be a spectator on that play, and Randy March did it just right. Now here's a big high hopper by him. See, he's already on the way because he knew that Buckner would break for it. Tabler will make the play. Gave it to him right where he wanted it. Didn't have to search for that bag. And look at Randy get off that mound. He'll be over there where he can take it. And close. Because that ball wasn't hit very hard, so he had a lot of time to run while that ball was bouncing around. A strike 1 count to Whitson. Whitson has been up 22 times in his previous 13 starts. He's had 2 hits. Driven in 1 run. Well, 2 balls and a strike.
1-0. The Mets over Cincinnati. Cincinnati at bat in the 2nd. I see Mr. Kingman got his 11th career Grand Slammer to win that ball game for the Mets last night, 7-4.
Bouncer that may, backhanded by Tabler. He got him. Holy Toledo, what a play. If that isn't a full-blown Major League second base play, I don't know what you got to see to believe it. He gets a standing ovation here. This ball was hit hard by Whitson. Tabler backhands it with that boarding house reach on that 6'1" frame of his. Then gets rid of it with enough on it to a stretching Buckner, and it wasn't even close. Man, oh man, what a play. You enjoy it again. It was a 3-up, 3-down inning, and the crowd's still buzzing. We played an inning and a half. The Giants nothing, the Cubs nothing.
Now, there's a brand new charcoal you just pour and light. You don't need lighter fluid, ever. Matchlight. Look again. Matchlight lights fast and easy. You don't add a single drop of lighter fluid. New Matchlight from Kingsford. It's the pour and light charcoal because you don't need lighter fluid, ever.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
It's just right. Gotta be a full moon. Hardly any wind. And the lowing brow's cold. Sure beats the office.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be low and brow.
Sure hope the fish don't bother us.
Low and brow.
Durham is going to lead it off. He'll be followed by Bonds and then Davis.
Kingman, by the way, with his 11th career Grand Slammer, is now tied with Johnny Bench and Stargell in that department among the active players.
Strike 1 to the Bull. Durham in this series is 1 for 8 with a run batted in. Hit safely in 17 of his last 19 games. There's a looping liner in the center, a base hit. But Durham's now hit safely in 18 of his last 20. He came in hitting .312, leading hitter on the club. Now to bring up Bobby Bonds, who's hit safely in 7 out of 8 and 10 out of his last 12. In limited play, Bobby batting .333 for the year. In this series, the veteran outfielder is 1 for 6.
Our apologies, but apparently Durham and Bonds were switched in the order.
Jimmy Davidovich is apologizing to the press row here because the lineup But I got off the walls down there, and later, up in the poodle and was put on the blackboard here, had Durham batting 5th and Bonds batting 4th. Whoa, he almost threw it away, and luckily Cabell got enough leather on it to slow it down. Lucky for the Giants, that is.
Well, you know why, don't you, Milo? Because I made my scorecard in ink. When I do that, these things happen.
So Bonds the batter with Durham at first, and he's a threat to go. But not now. Whitson has a good move, by the way. Jody Davis is on deck. We're in the 2nd inning. 1 hit. It belongs to Leon Durham. Doesn't take a big lead. He's going. The throw down will be in time to nail him. That pitch. 2-4 on the play, and look where Milt May gets the pitch. It's in a perfect spot, right up where he wanted, where he can release high, and Morgan just put the glove down and let him slide into it. That means Leon is now 18 out of 25 in the stolen base department. Breaking pitch is in for a strike to Bobby Bonds. That's a bullseye, and it's 2-2. High breaking pitch, 3-2. Full count, and in with an off-speed breaking pitch. So 2 strikeouts for Whitson. They've both been called. He did it to Henderson to start the 1st inning. Now it's 2 away and brings up Jody Davis. Jody Davis looks at ball 1. Davis against the league, 266 hitter, 2 homers, 10 RBIs. In this series, the rookie catcher is 2 for 5 and 1 run batted in. And one of his 2 homers against the Giants, the 1-0. Breaking pitch in. Boy, Whitson, I don't remember when I've seen him have that good a breaking pitch in the strike zone.
Well, the Sox have got a real cakewalk going. The Toronto at bat on the 5th. The White Sox 8. Toronto nothing.
1-2. If the Sox hadn't let that one escape in the opening game, they'd be going for a sweep today. They had a 4-0 lead early and let it go by.
Dodgers 3, Cardinals 3 at the end of 2.
Fouled off by Jody.
Detroit added another run. It's Detroit 3, Texas nothing at the end of 4. Tigers, as I said, going for 9 in a row.
Now it's 1-2 to Davis with nobody on and 2 down. 2nd inning, no score. Ed Whitson and Randy Martz. Right at Cabell. Boy, ball was really hit, but it was right at him. He just had to take a quick half step toward the line. And it retires the side. No runs and 1 hit. No errors, a caught stealing, and nobody left. We played 2. Giants nothing, Cubs nothing.
Excuse me.
Yes? Yes?
Do you have a credit card application?
I do. I mean, a 76 credit card is a good idea for a single girl.
Why is that?
Well, you could buy tires, gas. Anything you want is yours.
Great.
Of course, we'll need your name.
Okay.
And your phone number.
All right.
And for your address.
Thanks.
Go with the spirit.
Okay.
The spirit of 76.
Let's listen to what these people learned when they took the Pepsi Challenge.
It's so candid that you just call the shop and there it is. Did you learn anything?
Like Pepsi better. Nationwide, more people prefer Pepsi over Coca-Cola.
I thought it would be like they picked actors and actresses and told them what to say.
Why did you think you picked Pepsi?
It tasted better. I am surprised. This is weird. I didn't think these things were true.
I didn't know it really tasted that good, but now I know.
People who let their taste aside pick Pepsi.
Pepsi?
The Yamaha Virago. With a unique combination of V-twin engine, monoshock suspension, and shaft drive, it's been a lot easier to want one than to find one.
Go to the third, top of the giant order. Morgan, Cabell, and Clark.
Home run Molitor for Milwaukee in the first. And so it's now 1-1, Milwaukee versus Minnesota at the end of one. Mets still lead Cincinnati 1-0. The Reds at bat in the third.
Morgan looks at ball one. He took strike three call to start the game. The only strikeout recorded in the early going by Randy Martz. He's walked three. He's going to drive it, but it'll be foul down the right side. When it left the bat, it was foul. One and one. To go to the third in Atlanta, Montreal still leading 1-0. That's Rogers over Mailer in that game. A ball and a strike. Boy, Martz just gives you that big, free, easy motion. Then after he shows you that curve and that palm ball, that fastball really looks about 2 feet quicker, and there was one of them right there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's the palm ball, and he threw it in the dirt. All right, we're at the top of the hour. Let's pause quickly here for station identification.
This is WGN Television, Chicago, America's #1 sports station.
2-2 to Morgan. Off-speed pitch, and he's sending it out into shallow center. Bobby Bonds will camp under it now, and it's one away. The wind is blowing out here today. And when Bonds started, I think he thought he was going to have to come a little farther than he did. Then he pulled up and makes the catch.
Why don't we mention that Kingman and Dancing Stars will all have 11 career Grand Slammers now. In case the folks are interested, the National League record is 18 by Willie McCovey, and the Major League record is 23 by Lou Gehrig.
Bouncer short. He's got to circle that one and throw him out. Twice today, Cabell has been nipped on good fielding plays by DeJesus. Jack Clark walked in the first. He started a parade of 3 straight walks. As it turned out, it didn't hurt. But when you walk 3 and then get out of it with no problem, you get a little luck, too. He induced Leonard to hit into a force play. 1 ball and no strikes. That'll make it 2-0. See what Jody's. He wants to pitch him away here on 2-0. Just did slide off the corner. 3 balls and no strikes. Don't make it a good one on 3-0 to this guy. If that had been in a different zone, a fastball, but he kept it low. So it's 3-1 to Clark. Giant right fielder. Taps it foul behind him, and it's 3-2. He fell behind him 3-0. Let's see if he can come back and get him. A payoff to Clark with 2 down. Had him reaching. After those 2 tape measure jabs he hit in here against the wind in the first 2 games. March pitched him carefully in the first inning, ended up walking him. Except for the 3-0 low fastball, he hasn't really thrown him a pitch that he could handle. And another payoff. Low fastball, walked him. And that is walk number 4 by Randy March to go with 1 strikeout, and it'll bring up Darrell Evans. Evans also walked in the first inning. Chances are that under that Giant jersey is a Howdy Doody shirt.
Well, that's his nickname.
A strike. It's 0-1.
Well, you think television isn't getting a little older? When was Howdy Doody popular? In the 50s, wasn't it?
Or less
50s? Early 50s?
Uh-huh.
Buffalo Bob Smith, huh?
Hi, Buffalo Bob.
A strike to Evans. Clark not going at first. There's that foul ball, and he's got him in a hole 0-2. The thing that makes Evans a long ball threat is the fact that he gets a lot of bases on balls. Then you find yourself trying to thread the needle on him, and that's when he'll pop one. No balls, 2 strikes. He was a member of a ball club. He and 2 other fellas did something that's never been done before and hasn't been done since. 3 fellas on 1 big league team hit over 40 home runs. In '73, he and Henry Aaron and Davy Johnson, an unlikely candidate at that time. But he did it. High pop. When it comes down, Reitz will handle it. And Clark had to give him room. Side retired. No runs and no hits. No errors or walk. 1 Giant left. And after 2.5 at Wrigley Field on a Sunday, the Giants and the Cubs are battling and are scoreless.
Beach closed. Miller time.
Ball shrimp bar
Let's go get a beer.
Yeah, we are. Everybody get in the car. Miller time so pleasing. Now let's head it to the shipwreck bar. Hurry to the happy hour. Happy hour. Good times are here. Good times are here. Come on to the happy hour. Happy hour. Miller's got the beer. When it's time to relax, 1 beer stands free. When it's a happy hour, Miller's got the beer.
Without enough electricity, life just wouldn't be the same. In northern Illinois, that is not a problem today because we planned ahead yesterday. But if we don't keep planning, tomorrow could be a lot less fun.
Sport Mart saved new balanced top-rated training shoes for men and women. Schaumburg, Niles, Lombard, Calumet City, Oakland and Clark, and Halstead in Chicago. Thank you very much. All right, Kenny Reitz is here, Jack. Now this is a good spot to get something going.
Yes, as a matter of fact, Kenny Reitz wearing 44 reminds us the Yankees just got their second 4-run inning, so they're 44 in 2 innings, and they lead 8-0 over Kansas City.
They got another homer, this time out of Gamble.
Ball 1 strike 1 the count now to Kenny Reitz. He'll be followed by DeJesus and then Randy March. Whitson fires that fastball a little bit low. Fooled him with it. 1-2.
Texas tightened it up on Detroit. They got 2 in the 5th, so it's now 3-2 Tigers. Tigers now batting in the 5th inning.
Kenny Reitz, 237 hitter. Low and away. Ball 3, strike 2. And he has asked the umpire to look at the ball. Wire O'Kasey.
Well, you don't think an old country boy from Johnson City, Tennessee would be doing anything to a baseball?
Why, of course not. That's illegal. 3-2. Ground ball. Foul. Third base side. Still 3-2. Herndon, Leonard, Clark, and left, center, and right. Evans, Smith, Morgan, Cavell, the infield third to first. Battery, Whitson, and May. Eddie Whitson trying to square up for the year. He's 4-5, and his opposite number is doing the same thing because he also is 4-5. Strike. So Reach now strikes out, and that is strikeout number 3 for Whitson. Here's DeJesus, hitless in 6 in the series, hitting 170 now. No homers, 6 RBIs. Foul out of play. Strike 1. The wind is out of the southwest at about 7 miles an hour today, which means it's not really much of a factor, although it may have been an influencing factor on that foul ball that fell behind Jody Davis, because it did go pretty high, and sometimes when a ball goes that high, the wind can, of course, affect it, if there is any. Notion to bunt. Changed his mind. 1-1. Whitson is what you call sneaky fast. Good slider. One and one. Ground ball bouncing out to Morgan. Routine. 2 out. That brings up the pitcher, Randy Marks. Randy 1-0 against the Giants. That also is his lifetime. And as usual, they will play him to swing a little late. Matter of fact, Clark's giving him a lot of room between himself and the line out there in right field. If he were to pull one, Randy could wind up on third.
Yeah, Clark's going to be 100 feet off the right field line.
Strike 0-2. There it is. Notice the distance between the right fielder and the foul line. One and 2. Woodson pitching him outside that time. He didn't want to embarrass the right fielder. Very high. It's 2-2.
Try to get him to chase a high rising fastball that time.
Too low. Full count. Foul ball on the 3-2 pitch.
And Milt May, when he dropped that finger, said, quit fooling around with this guy. Just throw him your good Hummer, and he did, but he got enough of it to stay alive.
Foul ball again. Still 3-2. Randy Marks using up a fair share of time in the batter's box. So if they get him, trying to make them earn it. breeze that slider past me. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left, and strikeout number 4 there for Whitson. So now at the end of 3 full innings, the score of the ball game, Giants nothing, Cubs nothing.
Hi, Pat Summerall. Get book 2 of my 64-page full-color Sports Stars collection free with any $10 purchase at participating True Value hardware stores.
And right now, you can celebrate end-of-summer savings with their pre-Labor Day Carnival of Value circular, where you'll find this Mayfair soft toilet seat for just $9.95, this master padlock and self-coiling cable for only $5.99, and this lightweight True Temper rake, just $2.33, at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
We do one thing
like no one else can do.
Kentucky Fried Chicken. We do chicken fried.
Remember your favorite bite after bite.
Delicious fried chicken. We do it right for you.
Can I have a little bite? I don't have to try stiff.
Nope.
No other fried chicken tastes so right.
That's good.
Kentucky Fried Chicken. We do chicken fried.
The leadoff hitter for the Giants in the 4th inning, as we view one of Arnie's hat shots, is Larry Herndon. He'll be followed by Leonard, then May. Hi, folks. That's what it's all about. Enjoy baseball in the sunshine. Fresh air. By the way, welcome to our network stations today again. WTVO Rockford, WCIA Champaign, WMBD Peoria, WNDU South Bend, WFFT Fort Wayne, KCRG Cedar Rapids, which means they're watching in Fairfield, Iowa, too, Milo. KDUB Dubuque, and of course our flagship station, WGN Television 9, Chicago. I'm Jack Brickhouse, along with Milo Hamilton, Cubs and the Giants. And welcome wherever you are in this great land of ours today. Ball 1. Cubs with Steve Henderson in left, Bobby Bonds in center, Leon Durham in right, Reach at third, DeJesus at short, Tabler at second, Buckner at first, the battery Randy March and Jody Davis. Toronto's fought back with 2 in the 5th, but they're still way down to the White Sox. White Sox 8, Toronto 2. Minnesota 2, Milwaukee 1. Brewers at bat in the 2nd. We got a pitching change up there at Milwaukee. Augustine is now pitching for Milwaukee in the 2nd. Haas left with a stiff neck. Fly ball, pretty well hit deep to left center. It is off the wall out there between Henderson and Bonds. Henderson shags it down, and there goes Herndon streaking for third. He's in there, safe. A triple for Larry Herndon. That's his 7th 3-base hit this year. And he's been wearing out the Cub pitching. He's now 5 for 10 in the series against the Cubs. Ties him for 2nd in triples with Herr of St. Louis, Marino of Pittsburgh, and Templeton of the Cardinals. Reynolds of Houston and Richards of San Diego lead with 9. Here's Jeff Leonard. Man on third, and the Cub infield, with the exception of DeJesus, pulls in a little bit.
Timing's everything. Thank goodness he didn't get that in the 1st inning. They're going to appeal at second base.
Nope. In other words, the appeal on that one is that he missed second. And in a spot like that, if the umpire spots it, he says nothing. It's up to the defense to spot it and appeal. Now, if the umpire had noticed that he did miss second base, in that case, the batter would be out. That is a ball 1. In a barnstorming game one time between Dizzy Dean's All-Stars and Satchel Paige's All-Stars, Dean led off the inning with a triple off the Satch and stood on third base and really laughed it up. and really needled Satch. And Satch walked over and said, Mr. Dean, that's where you are and that's where you stay. And he proceeded to strike out the side on 9 pitches. 2-0.
Who was laughing then?
Strike. Ball 2, strike 1.
Cardinals are now leading Los Angeles 5-3 at the end of 3.
Strike 2-2. You know, Shoeless Joe Jackson with the White Sox was illiterate, but he could hit a ball. And some guy down at Sox Park was needling him all afternoon one time. Spell cap, Joe. Spell cap. Spell cap, Joe. Spell cap. Pretty soon, Jackson got up and he banged one for 3 bases. Stood on third base and yelled at this guy in the seats. He said, "Spell triple, you blankety blank." 2-2. High foul, out of play, 2-2.
Young Rod Scurry, that curveball artist, has got a good one going today, evidently, Jack. He and the Pirates are out in front of the Padres. 5-0 at the end of 6.
Ball 2, strike 2. Man on third, nobody out. Infield all pulled in now. DeJesus has crept up as well. Ooh, there's a wild pitch that's going to score a run. Oh, boy. Herndon crossing the plate easily, unchallenged on that wild pitch on the 2-2 count.
Looked to me like his palm ball, and he just didn't get it anywhere near where he wanted it. And once he threw it down into the ground, and that's what that palm ball does, it just jumped over Davis. He had no chance to hit it off.
So it's 1-0 San Francisco now. Ball 3, strike 2 to the batter. Nobody out. Strike. Fooled him with a high pitch. Leonard went for it. Struck out. That brings up the catcher, Milt May. Came in with that one just 1 pitch too late. That's a strike. 0-2. No ball. Strike 2 count. Well, there's another one just like the wild pitch that brought in the run. Ball 1, strike 2.
He's going to keep doing it till he gets it right.
That's a little low. 2-2. Ball 2, strike 2. Well hit deep to right, and it is grabbed out there by Durham, right near the vines. Milt May giving it a very good ride. 2 out. That'll bring up the shortstop, Billy Smith. Well, between the wild pitches and the palm balls that get away and the long balls that nearly go, Jody Davis started this game. He was 24 years old catching March, but he's going to be about 104 if he stays in there for 9 innings the way it's going. That's a ball. Ball 1. Base hit. Drive to right field. So Billy Smith is on. That brings up the pitcher, Ed Whitson. Ed was victimized by an outstanding play by Pat Tapler the last time up. That time it was the third out. He's in a spot where he can make the third out again now. Two out. Foul ball. Cardinals 5, Los Angeles 3 at the end of 3. D-Rock 1. Ball 1, strike 1. There's a drive by the pitcher into right field, a base hit, and it's misplayed by Durham out there. Although I doubt if there'll be an error. I think they will rule that Smith would have made it to third anyway. But that can make the adrenaline flow. And the heart start to pump a little bit if you're the manager of a ball club to see your right fielder play this one this way. Any ruling, Mono?
Well, I'm looking across. He was just watching the replay, and he has not reached. And now he's reaching for the mic.
All right, Randy Minkoff of UPI is the scorer, and he just calls it a single, no error. Smith was running with the pitch anyway, so now Joe Morgan is the batter, and the Cub bullpen finds Willie Hernandez and Howell up. Hits now for the Giants, 1 for the Cubs. A little high, ball 1. Morgan started the day being called out on strikes, sent a fly to center the last time up. Ball 1. Fade. Pulling with a high curve. 1-1. Outfield straight away, fairly deep. 1-1. Ball 2, strike 1. Joe Morgan may be a little past his prime right now, but he's still a very, very fine and a leader-type ball player.
Well, he did a lot for Houston last year. I think that's why the big surprise came when they let him go.
2-1. High outside. Ball 3, strike 1. He was at a banquet one year in the off-season. George Steinbrenner of the Yankees was there after George had bought a couple of those high-priced free agents. And Joe's line, when he got up to the microphone, he looked at Steinbrenner and says, "You got any money left?" I'm a free agent. Ball 3, strike 1. Smith on third, Whitson on first. That's a strike. Full count now, 3-2. Ball 0-3, strike 2. That's a ball. He's on. That loads him for Cabell. So the Giants have Smith on third, Whitson on second now, Joe Morgan on first, and the first baseman, Enos Cabell, is up.
The 8th place and number 9 hitters, Hurt Martz. Now he's paying for it.
Here is what you would term a key moment in the old ball game. Strike. At the moment, it's a very tight game, 1-0. Giants. But right now, a base hit with the bases full could give the Giants a pretty impressive lead. Foul ball. 0-2. So Randy bears down and gets 2 strikes on him fast.
Dodger rookie catcher Socia just hit his first home run. That tightens it up at St. Louis after 3.5. Redbirds 5, Dodgers 4.
Got a ding-donger going down there, huh?
Minnesota and Milwaukee 2-2 after 2. Preseason pro football. Eagles 19, New Orleans 7 at the end of 3 quarters.
0-2. Here we go. Curve low and away as he wasted one. Ball 1, strike 2.
Texas caught Detroit. They're 3-3 after 5.5.
One and 2. Ground ball back a second into center field, goes on through. Smith is in. Whitson is in. Morgan stops at second. Giants 3, Cubs nothing. Cabell sending one that had eyes right through the infield. That takes care of 2 of them. Oh, boy. That brings out Joey. And that'll be all probably for Randy Martz.
2 pitchers for the Cubs will be number 45, Jay Howell.
And Jay Howell is now coming in. Fourth inning. This is Jay Howell, who admittedly does not have a blazing fastball. He's got a major league type fastball, and he was telling us down the bullpen today that he holds it across 4 seams, and that makes the ball rise. He doesn't throw a sinking fastball.
He's going to come on for the 4th time as a Cub, 3rd time in relief. 1 win, no losses, ERA